Hey, what's up guys, Tommy14 here with some of the latest news from Forza Motorsport 6 that's come from E3. As you can see, this is the trailer in the background which was shown off like at the very first day of E3. I apologise that it's not been the quickest of news, I guess you could say, but I'm still want to get it out there because, obviously I'm a massively passionate, I guess, fan of the Forza franchise. I think I absolutely love it. I've loved it since the very first Forza or the original, so it's fantastic to see just how great this Forza does look. As you can see from the trailer, I don't know whether I did a breakdown of it. I don't think I did, but as you can see here, a lot of detail which has been added into this game, and yeah, let's get into some of the gameplay. Now, unfortunately, there's some which is direct feed and there's some which aren't direct feed, so I apologise for that. It's the footage I can find on YouTube. Links will be in the description for the full footage of each of the videos you see here, but yeah, let's get into it. So the first piece of gameplay you're seeing here is actually from, I believe, a Lamborghini Huracan. It's at night, there we are, Lamborghini Huracan at Sebring. It's been a long time since I've driven this track on Forza, and of course it's not on Project Cars, and I haven't driven it on any other game. So as you can see, this is actually night racing, which that's one of the big things in this new Forza, is the fact that there is night racing and there is wet weather. However, in both cases of night racing and wet weather, it's not dynamic in either case. So you can't go day to night, and you can't go from dry to wet, and you certainly can't have wet and night. So unfortunately, it's either you have it in the day or you have it at night, and also only certain tracks have day and night and wet weather. So that we've seen this from Turn 10 before with Forza 4, I believe it was, where you could actually have evening races at Hockenheim. I remember one of the tracks being, and Suzuka. But it wasn't day to evening or evening to day, obviously, because you miss out the night in evening day. But we've seen it before from them where they've implemented something. It's really amazing, but they haven't gone full out on it. Like Project Cars, for example, that does have dynamic weather and dynamic day and night. However, the game just doesn't run well enough. Unfortunately, the amount I was looking forward to it, and it just runs appalling on Xbox. The frame rate's bad. The AI in the wet, oh my god, they don't even have to stop for wet tyres, they can just go around on slicks. So, Turn 10, they said in their interview, with also Project Cars were doing a few digs at them on Twitter, which, isn't very impressive, to be honest, because, they just got a lot of hate back, which, to be honest, they deserve. Because they need someone to say, look, there's something wrong with it, sort it out. Anyway, back to Forza, which is why we're here, obviously. They said in their interviews, actually, that with night, they didn't just want it to be a dark day, which is what it is in a lot of games, really. It is just a dark day. Here, as you can see, it is pitch black, other than where the headlights are and where, like, the lights on the track are. So, that is incredible. It does look amazing at night. Now, I believe this isn't fully direct gameplay, and I don't think it's even in 1080p. I think the video on YouTube was 720, but as you can see, he finishes in first place. It looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And now, this is one of the new locations. There's 10 new locations. There's 26 locations in total. This is one of the new ones, actually. This is Rio with the classic Ferrari 250 GTO. I hope I got that right because, I do love this car. I just hope that's the name of it. But as you can see, there's a sort of new 321 thing. That looks cool, but as I say, that might, there's certain features which might not make it. But as you can see here, it does. This is one of the new circuits, Rio, and it does it does represent Rio very well. Very colourful. You can even see the hill in the background with the statue. I thought it was. No, I'm not going to say it in case I get it wrong and it could be offensive. I don't know. Anyway, so as a lot of people have been saying that this Forza looks like Forza 5, just refined a little bit, which is the case with any game, to be honest, apart from the new F1 2015, which videos will be coming on that. But any game really is a refinement of the past one, especially if it's a series like Forza, like FIFA. That'll be FIFA 15, but refined and better, clearly. But as you can see, again, the lighting in this game under the tunnel with the lights and the darkness, it is fantastic. And this is actually one of the coolest tunnels in a Forza series. Maybe not Horizon 2, but in the Motorsport, you had the Fujimi Kaido tunnels on Forza 4. They were pretty cool. But yeah, so far I quite like this Rio chat. This bit reminds me of the Prague circuit for some reason. That uh, sweeping left-hander. But the problem with me personally is I'd rather see. I like what Turn 10 are doing, going with different tracks and whatnot that no one else has had. But I'd rather see actual tracks, which I don't think this is. But anyway, these next series of clips I gathered from PS360 HD, link to the channel down below, please check it out. But I wanted to talk about the wet weather and what Forza Turn 10 have actually done with the wet weather, because it's not just less grip. It's not that simple. They actually say they go straight into detail with the puddles. They've got 3D puddles, which yeah, they've simulated perfectly with tires. So like if you have fat, wide, slick tires, then if you go flat out through the puddle, then you are just gonna spin off the circuit. But if you have like skinny, narrow tires and you go through the puddle and you lift off in the puddle, you're just gonna like sink into the puddle and actually skate off that way. So depending on the car you have and the tires you use, depends on what kind of behaviours the car's like in the wet. So you could actually see like different cars behaving differently in the wet weather, which is good because then we'll see more variation in handling between each of the different cars. Which a lot of people complain about in Forza 5. Apparently, all the cars felt, or most of the cars felt very similar. Personally, I didn't notice that so much. Maybe they were using the controller, and it's harder to distinguish the feel of a car in a controller than it is on like a TX racing wheel, which is what I use. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a bit more in terms of diversity in car characteristics in the wet weather, but also just like it would be cool if I was gonna say pit stops, but they haven't got dynamic weather, so really they're missing out on a few things, not making it dynamic weather. I mean, you won't see pit stops, you just won't because you're not gonna change from dries to wets. You're gonna stay on wets if you're in like I don't know if they still have a Formula One car in there like Forza 5, but if they do, then you're just gonna be on wet tyres from the start, or if on dry tyres, there's not gonna be pit stops, I'd imagine, for that, especially as with Forza 6 and Forza 5, you don't really do that many long races. I mean, you could do a 24-hour Le Mans in the Le Mans cars, I think, or maybe it's limited to a certain amount of laps, but, they're not really long races like you see on Project Cars, maybe a Assetto Corsa, F1 in particular when you do 100% races. So it's more really into just short, quick, fun races, really. But, that's the wet weather which they were talking about. Again, check out Team VVV. They've recently done an interview with Dan Greenwald, which goes much more in detail with Forza 6 and particularly wet weather. But also he mentioned about the night, where they didn't just want to make it a dark day. They wanted to actually make it like everywhere's pitch black other than where your headlights shine, which we've seen in a few games isn't actually the case. Project Cars, they've done a brilliant job with night. But the problem with Project Cars is that they had a dig at Forza basically on Twitter saying that all their tracks have dynamic day and night and all their tracks have dynamic weather. And basically a lot of people just giving them stick saying, yeah, but your game doesn't run very well. Which is true, it doesn't on at least Xbox One and PS4 I've heard it doesn't. PC it might be better. But so I can see Forza 6, actually taken to storm with the Xbox One, and just the fact that it's gonna be consistent 1080p and consistent 60 FPS, which is nowhere near